Hey guys, this is Jeff back here with you again. Just a quick update on the kitbash. I know everybody's been wondering what the blazes happened with this ship. It's still getting worked on slowly and surely and stuff, so it's just basically cleanup and everything, and a couple of one or two more changes on it and stuff, which always happen when you're dealing with me, but they're for the better, I think. So I'll start first with what I have going on up here up top. As you can see, I've got blinkies going on. I've got the starboard side is just a constant blink, and then the port side is more of a strobing type, and the reason why it's doing that, actually, it was a little bit of a cheat, but this is a 3mm blinking LED, and it's self-contained, and this is a 5mm blinking, and it's self-contained as well. I hooked them up together, and the balance between the two, actually the 5mm is causing the 3mm to strobe more than it does blink, actually. So, and what I'm gonna do is I wasn't sure if I was gonna show off this light and have 3 blinks on the top or just have the 2 up front. I'm just gonna go with the 2 up front. I know it's off balance from left to right, but that's kind of what I wanted anyway. So and I'm gonna go ahead and paint over this light really well, and just not have it showing, and just have the 2 showing, because you also have the lighting in the back of the nacelle. And I've gone through and changed this as well. Originally these were 5mm bulbs. I took those out and I made them 3mm, and I also added some to the bottom of the ship as well, because what I was finding was that if you look at this ship, you have all this light on the top. You have all this light on top, and then when you got to the bottom, you didn't have very much of any. So I added those on the bottom, and I also added that too. I was really wanting to have a dome back right here. Originally it was just a flat white piece, and I kept sitting up there looking at it thinking, what am I going to do with this? It needs to have a little bit of additional something to it. And what I had this, it was like a clear pumpkin with LED light in it from a Halloween, and I took it. It wasn't working anymore anyway, so, and the kids had busted it all up to hell. So I took it and cut out a piece of it and made it to where it would fit right there on that piece right there. Got a blue LED. What I had to do, this was fun, was right through here, well, right behind it, I cut all that out, hit it up with Dreamy first, and then cut it out so that I could slide wire up through here, because the ship is together. So I had to find some way to do it, and I was going to have something different right there anyway, so I thought, well, I might as well go ahead and tack it and hack it so that I could get wire back here to get a light in here. And I reached in with pliers after I pushed the wire through and pulled it out and ran it back here and got that off up inside of there with that light, and I am loving it. So, just give me some additional lighting on the bottom of the ship. If you look up, you're coming up underneath, from the Z-axis, like Enterprise on Reliant, and I want you to have some lighting, because you have all this flood lighting on the top, so, want to do something on the bottom as well. And I think that really just kind of looks cool when you look at it from certain angles and stuff in this banking. Other thing is, I've gone ahead and started on the cover. I got the cover over here on the port side. The starboard side, I'm thinking I'm actually going to create, scratch build. Maybe half of this will have maybe like 1 photon torpedo launcher. I had somebody ask me what was I gonna do as far as like torpedoes, and originally I wasn't thinking about having torpedoes on this ship. It's a tender ship. It's a logistics type ship, but I wanted to have phaser power. But taking up space, having torpedoes up in there, that mainly be for rescue equipment or cargo for the haul or something like that, but I think I may kind of have a small indentation in here for a torpedo launcher, and then the rest of it kind of be flattened over on this side, so we have a so that we get a torpedo launcher on here. So let me see. Try to think. Other than that, it's just been, you know, cleaning and everything. Gone through, done all my sanding on here, trying to figure out how I'm going to end this. I think I'm going to have kind of like a C effect in the front right here, and then kind of bring it up from the sides and curve that up, and then put it all over all nice and smooth and get that looking good. This bit right here, actually I've gone in the back. You know, if you look on top, I covered in those 2 channels that run the length of the ship in the back, and I've gone through on this side, and I've, you know, got that one sealed up and everything, got it puttied over, so I got to file it down. Have to do the same on the other side as well, so I'll just cut a piece of styrene, stick it in there, and, you know, glue it, then put it over and everything, and it's good to go. So, and steady working on cleaning up these bays to the big hangar deck back here. You know, working to get those cleaned and everything and stuff, trying to my best to get putty stuffed up in there and get it nice and smooth, and then take the airbrush probably and make sure I cover over these little lights. You know, I have these little fiber optic lights in there. I don't know if you, yeah, you can see those too. You know, and, you know, up there, clean that up, and over here as well, clean that up and make sure I cover up my lights, and then get my gun and shoot off up in there. And then try to shoot up in there with a little bit of extra color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to order, you can get just a 537 decal set, you know, just generic, and it has a bunch of lines and numbers and different stuff like that. And I'm going to pick that up so that I can get some decals on the inside of here before I set the shuttles in there. And then I'm going to, you know, attach the, I guess I'd say, you know, force field windows from the outside. You know, I'm not gonna have, you know, I want you to be able to see in here from everywhere. And although, you know, shuttle bay doors is what you always typically see, I wanted to have kind of force fields, kind of like you would on Star Wars. You know, you always had these big open gaps, but they got the force field, you know, going around it. So, and if this being based, you know, somewhat off of Star Trek Online, you know, some of the ships do actually just have force fields for doors on the shuttles. So, but that is the current progress of this ship right here. Go forth and continue to work on it, clean it up, and go ahead and try to get it painted. Actually, it's still cool. It's one of my favorite models. You know, even more so than the TOS Enterprise that I'm having so much fun with right about now, getting several things completed on. You know, this right here just looks totally cool, and it really looks like it'd do some damage. Oh, before I forget, there's one other thing I was working on. If you can see here, I got a little pad right there and over here for the phaser banks. You know, because this one right here I had to sand off when I put this extension up here for the deflector. So, you know, I have right here and right here, kind of throwback to the Kelvin and how it didn't have, you know, on port starboard and then to the front it had, you know, port starboard and then kind of catacorner. And I like that better. You know, give me 4 on the top, and probably thinking about doing the same thing with the bottom as well. Not exactly sure yet, but I probably will wind up doing it. Like I said, I want it to be heavy on phasers, not so much with torpedoes, because it's not a battleship. You know, even though it's based off of a frigate, which was loaded with some guns, this isn't a battleship. So it's meant to be protected by something else, or, you know, it's going in to the battle, go in, help out, get out. You know, it's not on the front lines. So, but other than that, you know, just keep watch out for this ship. I continue to have it coming along as well. Hopefully I have another update in the next few days or so. You know, cleanup goes on it, and getting that shuttle bay nice and trimmed and finished so I could go ahead and get the shuttles and stuff in there. So other than that, like I always say, those of you out there building models, keep on building. Those of you hadn't started yet but wanting to go ahead and get started, go pick up one and get started. Even if it's a snap kit, it's fun watching, having something come together with your hands. It's really satisfying. So you guys take care. Happy Father's Day to everybody, and I will talk to you guys later.